who watches The Watchmen? We do, and we're absolutely hooked. Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 moments from Watchmen Season 1.
You need to wake up. Your name is Angela Abor. You were born in Saigon in 1976.
For this list, we'll be looking at some of the best, most memorable, beautiful, shocking, and compelling moments from the first season of HBO's 2019 series, Watchmen. Oh, and consider yourself warned. A massive spoiler warning is now in effect.
Stop!
Number 10, Ozymandias watches his play, martial feats of Comanche horsemanship.
If you could just open the door.
I can't. The lock. It's...
as impenetrable as the Gordian knot itself.
Oh.
Watchmen is chock full of mysteries, but there are few characters that raise more questions than Adrian Veidt, aka Ozymandias. In fact, it's not until episode 3 that this aging gentleman is actually confirmed to be Veidt.
All best wishes and encouragement. Adrian Veidt.
For all his air of mystique, Veidt delivers some of the show's most memorable moments. In the first episode, he reveals that he's written a play.
And what should you call it, Master?
The Watchmaker's Son.
In the following episode, we learn, as his servants perform it, that said play is a retelling of Dr. Manhattan's origin story, and that Ozymandias has decided to forego special effects and just burn his leading man alive. The director watches with rapt attention, but also complete emotional detachment from his victim. And then we learn why.
We're thrilled you enjoyed it, Master.
Ladies, gentlemen, fantastic.
Number 9, Lady Tru's introduction. If you don't like my story, write your own.
Actually, I'm a trillionaire. What I'm building down the road is much more than a big clock, and I do come out, but only when it's important.
When you're 3 episodes into a new series and you've already teased a half-dozen pressing questions, the last thing that anybody wants is a cold open exclusively populated by new characters. That is, unless it's a cold open this good.
You two have no children, so when you die, your legacy dies with you. You'll be extinct.
Well, hold on just a minute here.
You don't have a minute, please. Don't interrupt.
The newly introduced Lady Tru shows up at a small farmhouse and makes the couple living there a very attractive offer.
In anticipation of our negotiation, I took the liberty of creating your son. I've placed $5 million in an account that should cover your relocation costs and, you know, baby food.
Tru is so calmly assertive that you're instantly compelled by this larger-than-life character. As the situation escalates from odd to downright absurd, the viewer is left to keep up with whatever the heck is happening. It's a whirlwind intro for Tru, but also a perfect sample of her character in a nutshell. And that's how you craft must-watch TV.
What is that?
That is mine.
Number 8, Mauris Joke. She was killed by space junk.
I've got a joke. Stop me if you've heard this one.
Since Dr. Manhattan's disappearance over 30 years prior to the start of the series, special phone booths have been set up so that people seeking to be heard by the living god can send him messages. Unlike most people, however, Lori isn't asking anything of the big blue guy. She just wants to tell her ex-lover a joke.
She picks up the orphan brick and she throws it up into the air as high as she can.
And what a joke it is. Rather than a single moment, the elaborate joke spans the course of the entire episode, slowly unraveling in tandem to the plot.
And so, a mere piston in the inevitable machinery of time and space, God snaps his finger, and the hero goes to hell.
A complex metaphor exploring the notions of agency, purpose, and the nature of doing good, it's the sort of joke that fans will likely be discussing for quite some time.
Then a sound from above, something falling. The brick. God looks up, but it's too late. He never saw it coming.
Number 7, Angela and Dr. Manhattan say goodbye. See how they fly.
You need to move away. It's not safe.
I'm not moving away. I'm here. I'm staying. You have to stay.
Nothing ever ends. It's a saying that Watchmen fans know all too well to be true. Be that as it may, few viewers could have predicted that Dr. Manhattan, a living god and comic book icon, would seemingly be destroyed in the very first season of the show.
I'm in every moment We were together. All at once.
Sure, Watchmen distinguished itself as daring television right out of the gate, but this creative choice significantly ups the ante in terms of its boldness. Thankfully, Manhattan's apparent demise was heartfelt, dramatic, and tragically beautiful, an ending worthy of a legend. And in the wake of his tragic fate, a seed, or rather an egg, has been planted that reminds us that legends never really die. Number 6, Lookingglass Survives 11-2, Little Fear of Lightning. Like so many characters in this series, Wade Tillman is a bit of an enigma, at least at first. Dr. Manhattan is the only known superpowered being in the Watchmen universe, but Tillman's keen deductive analysis certainly feels superhuman.
They despised your commercial.
No, they all said they loved it.
You didn't hire me to tell you what they said. You hired me to tell you the truth.
In episode 5, we take a look behind the looking glass to Wade's youth. We learn that Wade was a Jehovah's Witness spreading the teachings of his faith in Hoboken, New Jersey on the night of November 2nd, 1985.
What are you doing in Jersey?
This is where the sinners are.
Can't argue with you there.
The young man we meet is naive, vulnerable, and conflicted, and then his world comes crashing down. This moment helps us to understand Wade's trauma while giving us an unprecedented first-hand account of what it was like to survive Veidt's plot.
What happened? What happened?
Number 5, Angela's grandmother, an almost religious awe.
I'm your grandma.
Hi.
I'm here to take you home.
Angela's grandfather makes a big impression in episode 1, but it takes a bit longer to get to know June Abar. After learning about the couple's shared history in episode 6, we finally catch up with June in 1987, shortly after Angela is orphaned. It's a beautiful moment of connection between a grandmother and a lonely young girl. June and Angela form an immediate connection, and Angela's life seems poised to change for the better.
I have a VCR in Tulsa. We'll watch this first thing.
Where's Tulsa?
Tulsa's in Oklahoma, honey. It's where we're from.
Just as they're making plans for the future, however, Holland Oates' Every Time You Go Away begins to play. It's cruel, beautifully crafted, and emblematic of the tragedy that inevitably seems to befall Angela at every turn. Number 4, Will gets revenge using Cyclops, this extraordinary being. Will Reeves' life has been fraught with pain and frustration. From orphan to police officer to a masked vigilante, he's continuously sought to effect positive change, only to be marginalized or dismissed because of his race.
What happened here?
Same thing that always happens when you put a bunch of animals in the same cage. Go on in. We need someone who speaks their language.
During his time with the Minutemen, Will discovered that the white supremacist group Cyclops had been using hypnotism to incite black-on-black violence, with his concerns suppressed by his superheroic peers.
And I have evidence that a secret plan is being developed by a new crime boss who calls himself Mullock the Magnificent.
Decades later, Will uses that very same technology to force Judd to end his own life. Will might be the one controlling Judd, but the instrument with which he does it is a tool of Judd's own racist legacy.
You don't know me, old man. I know you.
Number 3, Tulsa 21. It's summer and we're running out of ice.
It's time to go.
Watchmen has consistently been an exercise in subverting expectations. Even after we learned that the show would be set in the present and largely focus on new characters, the very first episode nonetheless managed to throw us yet another curveball by going back to a time before the Minutemen, the 1921 Tulsa race riot. While Watchmen is a work of fiction, this extremely grim but evocative moment is an all-too-real and regrettably overlooked chapter from America's history. For anyone who is confused by the choice to set Watchmen in modern-day Tulsa, this shocking opening perfectly sets the scene. On the show, Tulsa acts as a microcosm within which to explore America's history of brutal racism.
Hey, get your thumb out your mouth, boy.
OB, come on. We gotta go.
Be strong.
Number 2, Dr. Manhattan talks to Will and Angela across time. A god walks into Abar.
I know because I'm talking to her right now.
You're talking with him right now?
Relatively, yes.
Even after discovering Ku Klux Klan robes in his closet, Angela can't help but care for her recently deceased boss, Judd Crawford. As the first episode makes clear, she and the chief of the Tulsa PD shared a special bond, a deep friendship and mutual respect that blurred the lines between coworkers, friends, and family. It's because of this relationship that Angela's conversation with Dr. Manhattan in episode 8 is so devastating.
Can you ask him something?
Of course.
Ask him, how did he know Judd Crawford was a part of Cyclops?
She tries to take advantage of Manhattan's ability to simultaneously experience the past, present, and future to finally get answers from her grandfather. Instead, she discovers that she's the one responsible for planting the seed that will eventually result in Judd's death.
He said he doesn't know who Judd Crawford is. But he does now.
No shit.
Okay, maybe it's just me, but the scene where Dr. Manhattan talks to Will and Angela across the course of a decade might be one of the coolest ways we've ever seen him use his powers and the best way it's been represented so far.
Which came first, the chicken or the egg? The answer appears to be both. At exactly the same time.
Anyways, here are a few honorable mentions. See if you can guess our number one pick.
Was I a worthy adversary? No. But you put on a hell of a show.
Yes. Are you a member of or do you associate with members of the white supremacist organization known as the Seventh Cavalry? Are you a member of or do you associate with members of the white supremacist organization known as the Seventh Cavalry? Are you a member of or do you associate with members of the white supremacist group known as the Seventh Cavalry?
2.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Dr. Manhattan reveal, an almost religious awe.
Dr. Manhattan isn't on Mars.
Where is he?
Right here in Tulsa.
Are you the one who put that idea in my grandfather's head?
Actually, he put it in mine.
In episode 7, the brilliant Lady Tru drops what should have been a bombshell. Angela, however, doesn't bat an eye.
I just told you Dr. Manhattan is here in Tulsa walking amongst us as a human being, and you never asked me who he is.
After hearing Lady Tru out, she leaves and heads home to deliver the biggest reveal of the season. Dr. Manhattan is none other than her husband, Cal Abar, and she's known the whole time.
What?
Showrunner and creator Damon Lindelof is well versed in the art of twists, evidenced by his previous shows Lost and The Leftovers. Even measured against his past work, however, this is a twist for the ages. Adding to both the narrative and emotional impact of the moment is the fact that Cal has no idea, and that Angela must hammer it home. Literally.
Hey, baby. We're in trouble.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.